Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode, which is a review to I'm a Celebrity 2025, episode 8, which was actually a Sunday night special. So, at the beginning of the episode, we found out that Ant and Dec were going to start with their little comedic duo comments. So, they said people's names, well, the people were starting to live up to their own names. So, Alex got up early in the morning, and Ruby waxed a log onto the fire. Alex also said, never underestimate the fire of a woman. Vogue explained that she wanted to do some training to help her metabolism, so she did some morning exercises, some front press ups and back press ups, and the rest of it. And Kelly explained that she felt like she wasn't missing out on any of the morning activities because she's been carrying the pots and pans up and down the stairs, carrying water and whatever else. So, yeah, she was doing that as an exercise. Jack decided to call a community meeting, explaining that he's happy he's here because of all the difficulties and sadness that he's having to deal with outside of the jungle. It's nice that he's in here doing stuff that he enjoys doing and actually making friends as well. Ginge also kind of jumped on that, saying, you had your little cry, men actually cry too, so a nice little bit of bromance there, that they're kind of backing each other rather than saying that he's not a strong individual. Kelly also explained that it was her birthday tomorrow, with Jack reminding her, actually, it was her birthday today after having going through the specific dates. It's really interesting to me that how they know what the date is in there or what day it is. I don't know if producers tell them or whether they just say, we've moved on to the next day now. So, yeah, she was basically like, oh my goodness, it's my birthday today. I wish for some birthday cake. So Kelly can only wish, and I don't think she'll be getting it anytime soon. Ginge said that he's never wanted to doubt himself. So before going into his trial, he said he was going to get a 12 out of 12. Kelly said that Ginge looked very nervous, but obviously came across very competitive. And H explained that he's obviously got to do it for Manchester. There's a lot of pressure, but you can't let people down. Ginge said that, honestly, he feels like he's only going to get 5 out of 12, but, sometimes you've got to just fake that confidence a little bit and then just surprise people. And he also was given a pair of clean underwear from Ruby to kind of use as for good luck. He said he wasn't going to touch him, he wasn't going to do anything with them, and he was going to have her take them back out once they got back to camp. In terms of the trial, there were 12 different stars in the 5 boxes that were available. I think from the title of the challenge, it reminded me that it was some sort of like travel trial. So each of the 5 boxes had a theme or a country, and then the animals and insects that were joining him in there were kind of representing that country. So we had lizards, we had snakes, we had toads, rats, and then in the final box, crocodiles and spiders. And all he had to do was put his head in a box, grab the stars out using his tongue or his mouth, and then for each star he got off of the podium thing, they were obviously stars that he won for camp. So he managed to get 1 out of 2 from the lizards box, 2 out of 2 from the snakes, 2 out of 2 from the toads, all 3 of the ones from the rat box, and 2 out of 3 from the crocodile and spiders box. When it got to like 10 seconds before he had time up, he said, right, let's just call it there, as if like, I've got enough stars now, I've got my 10, and that I can't really do any better than that, unfortunately. Whilst they were obviously on trial with Ginge, the rest of the campmates decided that they were going to create some sort of music. So H went into the phone box, started tapping random numbers on the dial pad, and then Eddie came over and said, right, you start making the beat and I'll start doing the tune. So Eddie started jumping on the numbers, H started tapping on the window, doing some sort of freestyle rap. And I think one of his lines was 3 weeks on a plastic bed. So I can't really recite it, but it was a very interesting, quick, spontaneous thing. And I guess as a musician, as an artist, as a rapper, it's easy for you to come up with things on the spot. So it was really, really good to see that. And then Ginge basically explained that he wasn't going to tell the camp he got 10 out of 12. He was going to say he got 5 and then tell the rest of them later on. We also found out that the next trial was going to be called Night Night Sleep Tight, which to me sounds like some sort of kids trial or some sort of trial involving some sort of scary bed or something like that. And then we ended up getting onto the conversation of Martin. So he was married for 40 years from when he got married in St. Lucia, and he kind of felt like it was so quick, he didn't actually feel like he got properly married. Vogue's been married to Spencer for 8 years. Lisa's also married to her husband happily. And Martin explained that if you start a relationship as a friendship, it usually does then blossom into something rather than going into a relationship thinking it's just going to be all about love. You need to be friends with the person you're going to love in order for that love to then come about. And Shirley, so Martin's wife, her mum asked whether him and Shirley had tried the wheelbarrow move because obviously I think at this point Martin's wife was having difficulty getting pregnant towards the beginning of their relationship, and the wheelbarrow was just a weird position, which Ruby took quite, what's the word? She took it very literally, that she said it was very unappetizing and she wouldn't allow that, having to be bent like a wheelbarrow and then having your head in the mud. With Ant and Dec obviously saying to the camera, they said, look, she took it so literally, just because the thing is called a wheelbarrow doesn't mean you need to do it in the mud. So yeah, she obviously didn't understand that, but she's really cute, and I don't know if she's playing dumb or if she generally doesn't know these kind of things, but yeah, it was just still very funny, and she's still very entertaining. She makes me giggle every episode. We also found out that H had been voted in from the public as the new camp leader. He had to choose his deputy, and who else other than Ginge was he going to pick, saying that their camp is about to go sideways. And he also explained that they need to have the best chefs because they need people that can actually cook, otherwise they're not going to have good food. And Ginge also explained he wants to reward Lisa because she's obviously done all the cleaning up thus far. Ginge also jumped in saying to H that he feels like Vogue and Tom need to earn their own badges, so he feels like both of them should be on washing up duty. And then we also saw a short clip of Eddie trying to touch the throne, and then Ginge came out and went, "Do not touch the leader's throne," almost like they're literally taking their roles very seriously now, as opposed to the other two who they did to a point, but they were still able to have fun with it. So, you've got two young boys from Manchester in charge. Let's see what chaos they're going to cause. In the end, when it came to the duties, they decided that the chefs were going to be Jack and Alex, washing up was going to be Vogue and Tom, water duty was Shona and Kelly, wood was going to be Eddie and Martin, and dunny duty was Ruby and Lisa. Kelly managed to receive a tree birthday cake with tampon candles for her birthday. Lisa asked Ruby what order she would have from a food restaurant if she was ordering a Chinese. I think she said black bean chicken or something. And then, Ginge basically recited half the menu, saying that he was going to get crackers for free because he spends about £20 every time he orders there anyway. When the dinner came down, Martin said that Ginge had everyone going for the whole evening, had waiting, because Jack then revealed he'd obviously got his 10 stars. And for dinner, they had crocodile feet, which H wasn't really expecting, but he said he's been asking for it. So, maybe he expected crocodile as opposed to crocodile feet. But he basically said, sometimes, you just have to try things that you don't expect and give it a go, basically. When it came on to actually preparing the dinner, Jack said he tried to cut into it. He wasn't able to do that. You can't skin it because there ain't much skin on the crocodile. So he decided to just boil the feet, and it was almost like an edible puzzle, telling the other campmates to just treat the food like a chicken wing. Alex also said that Jack was going to have fun with the crocodile and how to prepare that. She was going to focus on the vegetables and the potatoes, making some sort of stir fry. And Ruby explained it was the best meal that she'd had in camp so far. I think in this episode, when Alex was doing the stir fry, she added a little bit of salt. And obviously you're not supposed to take that sort of stuff in. It's technically called a contraband. So she was obviously caught in 24K on CCTV of the show. So yeah, Ant and Dec basically said that they were going to do something to, for them to have to pay for that. And finally, at the last part of the episode, we found that the trial was either going to be done by H or Kelly. The public decided it was going to be H. And he said, I feel like I'm going to be in a very confined space. So we are 8 episodes into the show so far. I think there's a lot of front runners for people that I think are doing really, really well. Like I said, Ruby is like a Marmite character. You either love her or you hate her. I love her because I think she's so funny. But at some points, I feel like she's playing up to the cameras a little bit. But she's been in the industry for, 30, 40, 50 plus years. She's done all the interviews. She's met all the celebrities. I think she knows how the TV works. But I think there are some things that generally American culture maybe don't understand and know how our British culture works. But she's a very interesting character. I think Kelly's great as well. I think she's very vocal. I don't want to say she's annoying because she's not, but I feel like she's probably one of those personality types that could annoy other people, that she always has something to say about something, but it's good that she's vocal. I think people that are kind of not really there at the moment, Martin's been a bit quiet, Alex has been quite quiet. I feel like H, even though he does great in the challenges, he doesn't really talk much in camp. Or get conversations and stuff started, but I think he's people's favourite as of now, hence why they voted him as camp leader. So yeah, there's a few people that are front runners, there's a few people that are back runners, so it'll be very interesting to see who's the first one to leave and who actually is the first one to get to the final. But yeah, if you did enjoy, don't forget to like and share, and who are your favourites so far after episode 8. If you've got further, don't spoil it. But yeah, who are your favourites so far, and who do you think is going to be the first person to leave the jungle? Anyway, until my next video, thank you for watching, and bye!